So teaching our kids Portuguese was not the main reason for homeschooling. We have many reasons that I feel are much more important than raising them bilingual. But I recognized that it would be a benefit for sure in terms of our effort to teach them Portuguese, right? Because we'd be spending so much time together, and also just in terms of being able to cater our education efforts around our desire for them to speak another language. So as I was looking into the various methodologies for teaching and philosophies for homeschooling, the one that resonated with me the most specifically was a classical education, but using in particular a Charlotte Mason method. And there were many reasons why, again, we decided to go forward with a Charlotte Mason method. But as it relates to bilingualism in particular, it was very intriguing to me that one of the main components of a Charlotte Mason lesson is narration, right? So the idea is that in all subjects, the child is being exposed to ideas through these living books, these texts that are rich vocabulary, rich language. And one of the main requirements is that the child then tells back what it is that they have heard. So whether it's history or geography or literature, a portion of the text is read by the parent, teacher, if the child cannot read for themselves yet. And then the child is expected to narrate and retell what it is that they have heard. And through that process, and it's just this very interesting and beautiful process of gaining knowledge, right, and learning. And so what I saw in this was how awesome, right, that the child could have access to all these ideas in the target language, right? Because we're doing school at home. All our subjects do not necessarily have to be in English. So that's where we're at, right, in terms of our journey. My kids, they understand Portuguese because that's primarily what I speak to them in, and they usually respond to me in English. Unfortunately, that's just where we're at. And they are themselves, between the three of them, they are at different levels in terms of both comprehension and also their ability to speak. And I've noticed since this past year of homeschooling my oldest that his ability to communicate in Portuguese has improved because we have incorporated Portuguese into our lessons, just, through our regular subjects. And it's been fun to see him grow in this way. And I do suspect that we will see fruit specifically because of this methodology, right? And the freedom that we have in homeschooling them, in choosing to do some subjects fully in Portuguese. And so that's what I want to share. And what I want to, sorry about the noise, what I want to share and what I want to, even for myself, keep track of through this channel, right? How is it that we're going about it? And what are the results? Like, what is it that we're seeing come of it? And especially because my children, my two oldest ones, they're 2 years apart. And so I want to kind of see how my first one is doing with this strategy, and be able to make some tweaks for my second, And you know, based on what I see in my oldest, but also based on my second son's like needs and his learning style and what suits him, and eventually my daughter as well. And so I would love, God willing, to have the opportunity to homeschool long term, and to continue to use the Charlotte Mason method, and to incorporate Portuguese into our homeschool. Now, the Charlotte Mason method itself, part of the curriculum, does include a modern language. So the idea is early on in first grade, the child is being exposed to a second language. For Charlotte Mason at the time, it was French, right? So today, you know, families who are using her method, they go with Spanish or French or whatever other language they want their child to learn. And so that is already part of the curriculum, right? If you're gonna use a Charlotte Mason program, it's going to have something, right? In terms of the lesson blocks, one of the lesson blocks will be a modern language. So that's already there. I guess what I want to experiment, right, in our homeschool is to bring that to a whole different level, because Portuguese is technically my first language, because that's what we spoke at home growing up, and I am fluent already myself, and I have been speaking to my children in Portuguese since they were born, and they do comprehend it. I'm trying to use all of that to our advantage by actually offering them full subjects in Portuguese, fully in Portuguese. And so in my next video, what I want to share is what we did last year in terms of the subjects that we used, that we did in Portuguese, and what the plan is for this year, and kind of my initial thoughts on like how that's going. So I will be talking about that and sharing that information here, and I hope that it's of help to other parents who are seeking to incorporate another language into their homeschool.